Welcome to Debbie's Grow, where we talk about issues that matter to the state, void of politics, fear or favor. The president of the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference, Most Reverend Matthew Kwesi Gyamfi, has urged Parliament to put aside procedural disagreement and ensure the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill is forwarded to the President for assent. In an interview, he said Ghanaians elected members of parliament to make laws on behalf of the nation and expect them to deliver on that responsibility. Ghanaians elected wise, intelligent men and women to go to parliament and to legislate and to make rules and laws for our nation. That is the only thing we expect from parliament, he said. His comment comes amid a dispute over the anti-LGBTQ bill after Speaker of Parliament directed the House to reconsider the legislation, citing the need to protect the national interest and ensure due process. Most Reverend Gyamfi said Parliament's internal procedures are not the primary concern of the public, stressing that citizens are more interested in seeing lawmakers produce legislation that reflect their expectations. We are not interested in their procedures and those things. We are interested in Parliament codifying what we have already sent to them, and to do just that and to put the bill on the desk of the President. He noted that if Parliament believes mistakes were made during the process, lawmakers have the right to revisit the bill and make correction. The Catholic bishop acknowledged the conflicting positions emerging from Parliament over whether the proper procedures were followed in passing the bill. Most Reverend Gyamfi further cautioned against allowing procedural disputes and technicalities to derail the process, recalling how a similar bill in the previous Parliament failed to receive presidential assent. The remark comes after Majority Leader Muhammad Yarga insisted Parliament followed all required procedures in passing the bill and argued that the Speaker cannot reverse a decision already taken by the House. Interesting days ahead. So this is from the Catholic Bishops' Conference in Ghana. What they are saying is that they are only interested in the bill being passed. I mean, the bill shouldn't have anything to do with challenges or technicalities, and because of that, we wouldn't pass the bill. And let me tell you something. What we are all eager to hear is the bill being passed into law. That is all we want. That is all we want. Why I feel like the majority wants to walk in the footsteps of the minority. We are not different from other countries who pass this anti-LGBTQ bill into law. We can equally do same. So I don't know what is preventing us. And see, sincerely speaking, as it stands now, I have no hope in this bill. I just have it in mind that this bill wouldn't be passed into law. Seriously. For me, I believe the bill went to the right processes. It did. The majority leader said the bill went through the right procedures. So what procedural process are we still talking about? I feel like we don't want to pass this bill. It is as simple as ABC. We don't want to pass the bill. And I don't know why we are finding it difficult to pass this bill. In the previous administration, there was similar incidents just like this one. The then minority, now current majority, had a problem with the bill. And then the current minority, then majority, also had a problem with it. And they passed the bill. They passed the bill, but it wasn't passed into law. And that is because they realized there was a sort of challenge associated with the whole bill. And just Friday, we had a good news. We had a good news, and today it's something different. The Catholic Bishop Conference, they said something. We vote for you because we know you are wise. We know you are intelligent. We know you can do the work. And so what we are interested in is to pass that bill into law. As simple as that. Because if we want to follow these technicalities and all that, trust me, this bill will not be passed. this bill will not be passed. And that clearly shows that we are not serious. Oh, it's true. We are not, because if we are serious, we should have passed this bill. We should have passed it. What is stopping us? What is stopping us from passing the bill? I just feel like we want to use this excuse as a care of something, so that we keep dragging the bill. If you tell your deputy that they should consider, for me, I feel like considering something, it has a result. You might either get a positive result or a negative result. So if you are telling somebody to consider something, at the end of it, there will be a result out of that consideration. So if they consider the bill, they deliberated on the bill, and then they feel like this bill needs to be passed because everything was clearly done, then why should we reintroduce the bill in Parliament? Now, the majority leader clearly stated that they did whatsoever they are supposed to do. And so he has done his part. And for that, I 100% backed him. He has done his part. As a majority leader, he stood his ground. And the bill was passed. So it's left with the president to pass it. Now, the president is also saying that they will have to reintroduce the bill because of procedural challenges and because of issues with quorum and all that. So they'll have to reconsider introducing the bill to Parliament for further deliberation, to consider some of the things in the bill. You see, we are not saying that when you reintroduce this bill, it wouldn't help or whatever. But for me, I believe the right thing was done. The right thing was done. If this bill should be reintroduced, it means that the people who passed this bill do not know what they were doing. That is clearly what they are trying to communicate to us. That the House didn't know what they were doing. And so the right thing needs to be done. Which means that if the main Speaker of Parliament is not around, they cannot go ahead and execute their mandate. It's just like if your parent is not in the house, they ask the elder one to take care of the rest of the kids. So the parents have it in mind that if we are not around, there is nothing good this kids will do. So unless we come in and then we tell them to do something, that is what they will do. And that is what we are seeing. The speaker is trying to say that when he's not around, the right thing is not being done. And so he will need to be there whilst the bill is being passed or the bill is being reintroduced. For me, I see no sense in this. Sincerely speaking, I see no sense in this. What we are all eager for is this bill to be passed. It's against our culture. It's against our norms. And I kept saying this. For an adult like me, to just wake up someday and then feel interested in my fellow female, it's my own problem, because I know my right from my wrong. But what about that kid? What about those innocent children that were being taken advantage of? What about them? We had instances where a young boy was being taken by his own coach. And the boy died as a result of the implications that came after. And this coach was granted a bail. He was sent to court and he was granted bail. So what about that? There were instances where there were documentary. And then we see people, young boys, at the age of 10, 11, 12, being taken advantage of by their teachers, by elders in their community, by well-known people in the community. So what about these kids? And that is why we want this bill to be passed. I feel like we are scared because we are not independent. We are scared because we still go seeking for arms. We are scared because when we pass this bill, the privileges we enjoy from the Western world, we are not going to get it. And so they are going to drag our feet. I wouldn't be surprised if this bill is not being passed into law. I will not be surprised. At first, I had hope. But as it stands now, I feel like our politicians, our parliamentarians are playing with our feelings. They're just joking around with this bill. And sincerely speaking, that would be a very great disappointment to the NDC, for that matter. Because you promised that this is what you will do. And as the Catholic bishops are saying, We don't even care about your procedural, whatever it is. What we want is that bill should be passed and to be passed into law. That is all we want. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Group.